Hi everybody, welcome to Beautiful Vibes, and today I'm going to be talking about a very serious subject. I'm going to be talking about the toxic relationship that I was in for about 2 to 3 months. This relationship really tore me apart as a person. I'm not the same person I used to be because I lost myself. I lost my friend due to some of these things. I didn't lose her for just that reason, but I feel like it could have been, resolved. I'm sorry if I get emotional, but it's a very hard subject for me to talk about still. But I feel like if I talk about it, I feel like I can help other women or other girls out there that are going through the same things or that have been through them. So the first thing I want to say is this person that you're dating, how to know if it's a toxic relationship. The first thing you will know is when you first meet this person, they will be wearing a mask. They will be fooling you into thinking that they're a great person, that they're this wonderful hero, that, they want you to think that they're this really great person, they're nice, they're kind, they buy you things, they do all of these things to get your attention, to win you over. But after they win you over, they start changing into a different person that you did not know that they were. So they're going to be wearing a mask. They're wanting to cover all of that up. They don't want you to see that. Until they win you over, that's when they will start changing and you will see a change in that person. So for the first example, I'm just looking at this website, kind of going along with it. It's called Women's Help, and it's actually a website that I'm using to kind of help me, guide me along with this video. And it says signs of toxic relationship. So the first one you want to take mind of is that the person never takes responsibility. So for example, in my relationship, this person never picked up his clothes. He would throw his clothes on the ground. Well, not the ground, but the floor. He would throw them on the floor, knowing how hard I worked every day to make sure that his place was clean and tidy, and knowing how hard, that, sometimes I didn't feel good. Sometimes I didn't want to pick up his clothes, but he would keep doing that over and over. So I noticed a pattern within him that I couldn't get over. And when you try to approach the person, you try to approach this person, they just think, oh, well, this is my excuse and this is how it's going to be. So his excuse was that he worked, that, he didn't have to pick him up, he'd pick him up later. And even if he said later, it was never later. He never picked him up in the first place. So the second one would be, let me just add to the first one. Another one would be like you're doing all the work. You're doing all the housework. You're doing the dishes. You're cleaning his clothes. You're folding his clothes. You're sweeping the floors. You're mopping. You're vacuuming. You're doing all these things for him. And he still acts like he doesn't even appreciate you or appreciate what you're doing. Okay, the second one would be you're not practicing self-care. So what that means is you're basically falling into a deep depression and you are not taking care of yourself like you should. With my relationship that I was in, I started just letting myself go. I didn't take care of myself like I should have. I started not to shower. I didn't brush my teeth. I didn't brush my hair. I didn't care what clothes I wore. I didn't care if I wore them the same day. I didn't care if I wore them every day. I didn't care what I wore. I didn't care how I looked. I stopped doing my makeup, which this is something I love to do. I love to work on my makeup. I love to do face paints, things like that. I lost myself completely. I didn't know who I was anymore. His pain that he put me through, the situations that he put me in, it made me turn into a completely different person. So the pain that he put me through, I felt like that was totally normal. I started to realize that it wasn't normal and I shouldn't be feeling this way. So the third one would be, your partner is constantly stonewalling you. So basically what this sums up, it means that, they're always shutting you down when you're trying to bring up what is bothering you. So basically, when you're trying to tell your partner that, could you please start picking up your clothes? I'm tired of having to do it myself. I'm tired of having to do all these things by myself. Can you please start doing it? And it's like they start arguing with you. They try to make up this argument. And simply, you're just trying to tell them how you feel about them doing that to you. You don't want them to keep doing that over and over and over because, it hurts and it's annoying. You don't want to have to pick up after someone else's mess all the time, So basically, they start making arguments with you because you're trying to just express how you feel. So literally, that's basically a toxic relationship. So the fourth one would be, you feel drained. So literally what this means, like in my relationship, I was drained. I was basically giving him all my mental support. When he was depressed, I would bring him up. When he was depressed and he was crying, I would just hold him and I would be like, it's going to be okay. We're going to get through this together. Just things like that. So basically, he was draining me of my mental, my mental state. I was putting all my effort and all my time and all my love into someone that couldn't even give me that back. So, that is definitely another one. And I'll kind of explain it and go into details. So, basically, the relationship will feel like it's sucking the life out of you, and you will feel tired all the time. Like with me, I was very depressed and I just stopped eating. I stopped eating so much. I didn't really care about anything anymore. I felt like I wanted to die a lot of times because I felt so trapped. I was isolated basically. I isolated myself for him because I felt like he needed me the most. So when I would come home and visit my family, I was 2 hours away from them. I would come home and visit my family, and I would just stay for a week. Hold on just a moment. I have acid reflux, so I'm sorry if I do that. So I would come home I'm messing up my words. I would come home for a week, and he would be like, oh, I missed you, can you please come back, and just things like that. I was very confused at the time. I didn't know what to do. I was torn apart because I wanted to be with my family, but I also wanted to be with him. And he made it like he couldn't live without me. So basically, I felt drained mentally and physically inside, I was staying up all night usually because he would come home late, from work, which he came home at that time, from work. So, he would work till 12, and, he would usually be home by, 12:30, something like that. And he was, he wasn't one to, stay out at night or something. But I would wait up because, when I was staying with him, I didn't really know his family that well, so I felt like I couldn't go outside. So, basically, I was trapped into this little place, we only had, a little square window. So I felt like I was in some kind of horror movie, and I was trapped all day, every day. I didn't have a car. I didn't have nobody to talk to. I didn't have really nowhere to go. I was inside that place 24/7, and I didn't have my friend, and I was very lonely. So, she didn't really even know what I was going through. And I really wish she did, because I think it would make it a lot different. She really never got to see my side. I'm sorry. I miss her a whole lot. We kind of got in this argument, and it really hurts because I really miss her a lot. But I think if she would have known what I was going through, and I didn't tell a lot of people because I was very embarrassed of it. I felt very trapped. I felt very lonely. I lost half my friends. My family kind of just didn't call me as much. My mom really missed me and everything. And I was really confused because he kept telling me he missed me, and I felt like he needed me. So I would stay with him, and I tried to put all of my effort and everything, but I lost myself trying to do that. I was trying to help him. And you can't help people who do not want to be helped. This is one thing you have to tell yourself. You can't change someone who doesn't want to be changed. So, let's see. The fifth one, let's see. Your partner is always offering constructive criticism even when you don't ask. So basically, this is supposed to be someone who wants to make you better. He wants to make you a better person. But instead, they're giving you all this criticism that you didn't ask for. For example, I had this really good perfume that I love to wear, and my mom had got it for me for Christmas, and the whole set costed like $80. It was like Victoria's Secret, and sometimes the smell doesn't last as long, so therefore I would spray like kind of a lot, not a whole lot, but just to make sure like everything, the scent stays on me for a while. Let's just say he said, you smell like a $2 whore. In that moment, I didn't really know what to say. I kind of laughed it off, kind of shrugged it off, but in the end, it kind of hurt because it's like, my mom got me this, so why would you say that, and I kind of felt like he was criticizing my mom, sorry, and the whole thing just, I don't know, it just hurt me so bad. And at the end of our relationship, he started not calling me like baby, and we have like pet names and stuff, like baby, bae, baby girl, something like that. He stopped calling me those, and he started calling me big girl. He started saying big girl, like, oh come on big girl, like, and it really hurt because it just made me feel like I wasn't pretty anymore. I'm sorry. It just made me feel like I wasn't pretty anymore. It didn't make me feel beautiful. It made me feel like, it made me feel like, if I got bigger or I was fatter or something, that, he wouldn't love me anymore. And he did make a comment like that once. He said, if you ever get over like 400 pounds, or if you ever get to 400, we're gonna have to have a talk. And it just made me feel really, really bad about myself. And, I really hated living like that. It was really horrible. And I can't believe I let someone treat me like that. But the important thing is that you forgive yourself and you keep loving yourself for who you are, because that's what matters. The next thing would be, let's see. Yeah, number 7 is, number 6. I'm just gonna skip number 6 because, like, it doesn't really matter. Let's see. 7, they're always blaming other people for their problems. This could be 6 also. I'm gonna label it as 6. Okay, so like this. Okay, so they're always blaming you for like their depression. They're always blaming you for their stress. They're always blaming you for not being there, or they're always blaming you for this and that. Like, he would blame me for things like me coming over and him having to go buy groceries for us. But yeah, he's the one who wanted me to stay over there with him, and he's the one who always missed me and things like that. Well, my thing was, why are you going to blame someone that you love and you want to see? Why are you going to blame them for your problems? Why are you going to take that stress that you have? Why are you going to put that stress on that other person and tell them and yell at them and just take all your anger out on that person? So they're blaming you for their problems. They're saying you stress them out. You do this to me. You do that to me. Let's see. Number 9, this is a definite yes. Okay, well number 9 can turn into number 7. We're just gonna go along with it. You feel like you do all the work in your relationship. So this is a big one, like literally. You feel like maybe you're the one that buys all the things. Maybe you're the one that goes out and buys all the things. Maybe you're paying for all the dates. Maybe you're showing all the affection. Maybe you're the one who calls them all the time. Maybe you're the one who texts them all the time. And they just don't do a whole lot for you in the favor. My situation was I didn't have a job, but he worked. But he bought everything for me physically. Physically, he did everything very well. He was a great, at first he was a great guy, but then he turned into someone I didn't know. Which we're both to kind of blame in the relationship. We both had our faults, and I forgive him, and I have to learn to forgive myself for letting myself go that far and letting myself just keep hurting and keep hurting and keep hurting. And the pain felt normal to me. So, yeah. And it's just really hard. You feel like you're doing everything in the relationship and you feel like you're not getting anything back. My thing was I wanted to give him the world. I wanted to give him everything. And I did what I could while I could, My car was kind of broke down at that time, so I couldn't do anything for him. I couldn't go get a job and help pay things, I didn't have nobody to really take me, and he kept saying over and over, he was like, well, I just want to take care of you, things like that. And I was like, well, okay, but I still want a job, things like that. And it was like he would say those things that he wanted to take care of me and everything, but then he would turn around and say something completely different. So it was like that our whole relationship. He would say that he wants to take care of me, and then he would say that, oh, well, you should have had a job by now. Oh, well, you need to work so that we can work together. Things like that. It hurts so much. It's very hard to talk about these things, and I'm very sorry. I keep apologizing when I shouldn't, but this is what a abusive relationship does to you. It's not physically. He might not hit you, but it's mentally abusive. It really was. On both sides, it really was, because if he did something to me, I would do it back to him. That's just how it was. I'm not that type of girl to just sit there and let it eat me alive. But I wanted him to see what he was doing to me mentally. I wanted him to feel the same pain that I was feeling. But things that he did to me was he would tell me things like, oh, well, he wanted a baby and he wanted this and that. And I was like, I didn't know what I wanted at that time. I was very confused, and I was very naive because, see, I never had done anything with any kind of guy. I've never done anything like that. And it was my first time, so I didn't really realize, what everything was. I didn't really, I'm not one of those sexual type of people. I'm not. And it was my first time, with anybody, and I wanted it to be that special guy, and I thought he was, but it just turned out to be like, it was horrible. Like, there were times that he would tell me things like it wasn't rape. Well, it kind of was, but it was against my will. Like, there were times that he didn't ask me if I wanted to have sex. He would tell me. He would be like, oh, well, you're getting F tonight. Oh, well, you're doing this tonight. When we get home, you're getting F'd, you know. And I'm like, no, I'm not. That's what you think. And he's like, no, that's what I know. And I'm just like, you know, I didn't really feel like I didn't feel like my voice was there anymore. I felt like I was muffled. I felt like I had my voice taken out. Like, I felt like it was silent screams all the way from there. You know, I mean, yeah, this was the person I love, so I loved him, you know, and I didn't know whether this was considered sexual abuse or rape or what, because I'm very naive. I didn't know. You know, I just know that I really didn't want to have sex, you know. At first, it was mutual, you know, we decided, yeah, but, like, after the first time and all that, it started getting worse and worse. Like, sometimes he wouldn't ask me, he would just come on to me, and that's, like, the worst feeling, is to know that sometimes you don't want to, and you're being made to, you know. And sometimes he would watch who I texted. Like, he would check my text messages. He would check who I was talking to. He would delete apps off of my phone, you know, where I talk to my friends sometimes. And, like, he would tell me, you know, that I couldn't talk to any guys. But even though he told me that, I found him talking to one of his old friends that was a girl. And I got really pissed off about it. And I was like, well, how come you can talk to other girls, but I can't talk to other guys as friends, you know? And I wanted to leave that day. I really did, but I stayed because I felt like he needed me. And that's one thing they're going to make you feel like. They're going to make you feel like they need you in order to survive. They feed off of you because you're kind, because you're nice, because you do all these things for them. They are feeding off of you. They're eating you alive. Okay, this is what these people do. They will hurt you in order to survive. They're sick. They're sick mentally, okay? And it's horrible. It's horrible because I don't want anyone to have to go through what I ever went through. It's really just, it's not funny, it's not cool, you know. And there were days where, like, when he was mad at me, he would, like, speed up the car, and I was like, can you not drive so fast? I was like, you know, my life matters too, you know, I'm in the car. And you know, I would be crying sometimes, and he would be like, why are you crying? Why are you crying? You need to stop crying. You cry all the time. Things like this. And it hurt so much because I was depressed, and I felt like I didn't have a voice. I didn't have no one to talk to. So I didn't really know what to do anymore. I really didn't. You know, and there were days that, like, we went to Walmart, for example, and I was very sick this day, and I needed a pregnancy test because, you know, I felt sick, and I felt like this is the guy that I kind of wanted a child with, and we really did try for one, but I never could get one. And it kind of hurts a lot too because, you know, I kind of wanted one, but now that I see my life situation was very dangerous and my relationship was very toxic, I'm really glad that I didn't have a child with him, because I can't imagine how horrible it would be. Like, I really can't. You know, to have that kind of relationship and bring a child into it, it would be very horrible. And, you know, I couldn't imagine something like that. I really couldn't. But anyway, I just remember arguing, and I told him that I needed a test. Well, he goes in Walmart and gets what he wants. and he left me in the car. And I know he did it on purpose because I didn't want to go in Walmart with him. So he locked me in the car with the windows all the way up, and he left me in the car with no air running. I know he had gas, so he could have run his air, but he did that on purpose so that I couldn't get any air, so that I couldn't breathe good, things like that. Yeah, it was sick. Yeah. And I'll never forget this. This is the most painful memory, is when I was with him, and we had to go wash clothes, at one of his family members' house, and he got a plastic bag out of his back seat, and he told me to suffocate myself with it. And he started laughing about it like it was funny. And knowing me, I'm depressed. I am a depressed person. I have depression, and I dealt with suicidal things in my past. And that was the last straw for me when he told me that I should kill myself, that I should suffocate myself. It made me feel like I was annoying, like, I didn't need to be alive. It made me feel like I wasn't needed. And there were also times that he told me things like I actually called him out on it. One time I called him a gaslighter, and he told me that he cried about it at work. And that's the other thing. They will tell you things to make you feel bad for them. They want you to feel bad for them so that they can have power over you, so that you can feel bad for them, because that's what they feed off of, okay? And he would just tell me things like that, because I would tell him that he's controlling, because he would literally watch me text my family members and then laugh about it and say, I'm just kidding. And he would be like, who are you talking to? Who are you texting? And in my heart, I knew he wasn't joking. He played around a lot too, and he left like bruises on me. Like my legs. Like, he played around a whole lot, and I would tell him, please stop, because my skin is sensitive. I would say, I bruise very, very easy. And he would stop for a few days, and then he would do it again. So that's the thing that hurt me, because I would sit there and I would like cry about it when he was at work, because my legs were like in bruises, and all I could think about was, why would he not stop when I told him to stop? Why would he keep doing it, a few days later and repeat it over and over, Like, it just hurt. And I got to the point where I would fight back. Like, I was so mad at him inside. Like, I would hit him. Like, I would not hit him that hard. But I started hitting him and, like, pounding, like, his chest and stuff, because he would tell me, everything was easy, and nothing was easy to me. I would say, it's not easy, and I would be crying my eyes out, and I would like be hitting his chest, and I would be like, get away from me, like, I got so tired of him not seeing what he was doing to me. It literally broke me in tears. It broke me down, literally. But, I knew that he could be a good person if he wanted to. But everything was taking him over. So I really wish he could have been a good person for me. I really wish he could have changed for me. But you cannot change someone. And I remember on July 4th, like, we had been broken up for a few days. We got in this argument, and on July 4th, like, all I could do, everything reminded me of him. So, like, while we were broken up, I remember I came home, and all I heard in my head was, like, this voice, and it was saying, you're not good enough. You just need to kill yourself. Nobody likes you, things like that. And all I can remember was what he said to me inside my mind. And all I can remember was what he said. He was like, you just need to suffocate yourself and things like that. And so I remember putting the curtain around my neck, and I tried to suffocate myself. And I'm not crazy. I'm very suicidal. I have depression, and I have anxiety too. And yeah, I sat in the floor literally until my face turned blue. And then, like, the only person that told me to stop was one of my friends that I texted, and they was like, you just need to stop. They was like, please don't die, please don't leave me, you know. And literally, I remember texting my ex. Well, yeah, I remember texting him. He was, you know, we were broken up at that time, but we had got back together, and all he told me was, bad girl, why would you do that? And he didn't even act concerned really at all. And I just remember, like, what kind of person are you? Like, I just kept going back, and I don't know why. Only God knows why, you know. This person, I felt like I was laying beside a demon every night, really. I felt like he could be a good person when he wanted to be, but I don't know if he was on drugs or anything. I really don't know. I don't know what made him become this person, but yeah, it was really horrible. Just him telling me those things and everything. And I mean, really, we had some good times together too. Like, he would make me smile and laugh and everything. And literally, I felt like he was my best friend. I felt like I found my soulmate, you know, because we had the same birthday, and it was just awesome to find someone with the same birthday. And he was just an awesome person, you know, but when I really got to know him, you know, I fell apart because I didn't want to see him like that. I didn't want the whole thing to go down like that, but it did, you know, and he apologized for it, you know, he apologized for locking me in the car and all of that, but I can't forget it, you know. I can forgive him, but I can't forget, you know, and that's the worst pain in the world, to have to remember that every day. And now it's like I'm so scared to actually move on. I'm so scared to trust any guys. I'm so scared to date anybody else because I'm scared they're going to do that to me. But this is also a guy that I met online also. So you really have to watch who you date over the internet, because they can actually fool you into thinking that they're a good person when they're not. And maybe that was God trying to tell me, you know, to stop dating people online, because that's the worst person I've ever come across. You know, which he was a good guy at heart, he really was, but what he did to me was just horrible and unethical, and it was just so, you know, it was not even called for. Like, he didn't have to do all that stuff to me that he did. You know, and I got to the point where I was so fed up with it. Like, if he did something to me, I would do it back. Like, how he left me in the car, that is exactly how I left him in his house. So I got so pissed off that he accused me of cheating on him, and I would never do something like that. But you know how it goes. The accuser is always the cheater. So anyway, I got so pissed off because he accused me of doing that, and all I ever did was give him affection and love him, like, you know, like he needed, you know. And I mean, I would write this guy love notes and put it on the refrigerator before he got home from work, just so, like, he would know, like, I'm there for him and I really appreciate everything he does for me. And literally, just, I don't know, it was just horrible. And I left him that day, and it hurt me so bad. Like, I cried for hours, like, because I knew my mom was on the way to get me, but she was 2 hours away, so, like, I had to wait a little while. So I just remember I was sitting there listening to some songs, and I was crying my eyes out because I didn't want to leave him. I really loved him a lot, and I didn't want to walk out on him, but I had no choice. It was either let myself go and let myself keep dwindling down, or it was leave him and work on my life. And so I did what was best for the both of us, really, and I had to leave. I was the one that left because, you know, it was horrible. you know. And I just remember what he did to me, leaving me in the hot car. So I turned off his air conditioner in the house. I turned it all off, and I made sure it was hot as hell in that house. So when he came home from work, it was hot as hell. So that's exactly how it went, because I got tired of his shit. But that's the thing that you have to do. You have to fight people back. You can't just let people trample all over you and treat you like a dog and, just step all over you. Because you are worthy of love, you are beautiful, and you are something special. So please always remember this and treat yourself good. And just please stop letting people treat you like you don't deserve. You don't deserve anything less, okay? And this guy tricked me into thinking he was a great guy. He opened all my doors. He called me beautiful all the time. He gave me compliments. He bought me anything I wanted. And that's how they will trick you into thinking they're this great guy, they're this great hero. And when it came to other people, he turned into someone else. It was like I was invisible or something, like I didn't matter, or I had to be silent, And I just want all of you girls to know that I love you very much. And you are, my supporters. I love you all, and you're all awesome people. And thank you for listening to my story. And I really hope this can change and help some people get out of their toxic relationships, because you're amazing and you're beautiful and you're all worthy of someone special in your life, and you all deserve something better. So, yeah. This is all I have to talk about today, and I hope you all have a fabulous day, and please like this video and if you like it. And I hope you all have a great day. Bye.